Hey, it's Nicola here of Conscious Crypto Traders. And remember, we are bringing on some awesome crypto ninjas from our private mentoring group onto the channel to help us with technical analysis and analysis of crypto projects. I have Kelly here with me, who is our tax expert. She does some technical analysis. And we were having this chat about what could happen at the end of the year looking at the candles. So Kelly, take it away and tell me what you were discussing with one of the other crypto ninjas and what you're thinking.
Sure. So we were just talking about different time frames, and he had mentioned to take a look at the 12-month. And so I did. And he said, well, what do you see? And I drew in my trend line, and immediately a couple things popped right out at me. So the first thing, this goes back to 2011. So we started off with a red yearly candle. And then we came in with a green for 2012, green for 2013, and then back to red in 2014. So there were two green candles, red, green, green. Then we went red. And then in 2015, 16, and 17, we had successively larger green candles, or bullish engulfing, right, from year over year. And then we got to 2018, and then we had, this red candle here for the year 2018. So there was three green candles, came in with another red, and then we've started this incline of green candles. This was a bullish engulfing on the year over year, 2020 over 2019. But then we came here to 2021, and now we had ended the year with a smaller green candle. So the question is now 2022, we've come in with our bearish, this is looking to shape up to be a bearish engulfing candle. And we've come below the trend line for the first time since 2012. So it's a matter of where are we going to go from here by the end of the year?
Yeah. And what were you concluding as a hypothesis? Guys, remember.
A hypothesis, yep, could be. There are a lot of analysts out there that are talking about ending the year around 30 or 31,000. Now, if we were able to do that, we would actually end 2022 with a green candle, albeit it would be a very small sliver of a candle. We would still go green. And that could be starting to form a pattern of red, 2 green, red, 3 green, red, possibly 4 green. Who knows?
So that means that next year might not be the beginning of a bull cycle heading up. That's a possibility. Have a look at the 6 month, because the 6 months we have a traditional bearish engulfing candle, right? We have a red candle engulfing a green candle, and right, and yet we're finding a bottom, right? We're finding a bottom. Now, on this channel, guys, you know that I have called the bottom in, and I'm prepared to put my 2 cents in and say the bottom is in. And the reason why I think the bottom is in at 17,500 is that we've never gone significantly below the previous year's the previous bull cycle's top. We usually level out there. The other reason is that the cost, because of the cost of inflation and gas and all that sort of thing, the cost of mining Bitcoin sits between 15,000 and 17,500. And I think that one of the reasons why we got a very strong bounce off of that is that the miners aren't going to mine Bitcoin if they're mining it at a loss. And that's going to create scarcity, which is going to create a panic buying, or at least buying into the market, which is kind of what we saw. And it might not have happened because of that reason, but certainly when we hit down at 17.5, just above that, we bounced off that pretty heavily. So basically we're saying here, do you want to go back to the yearly? We're saying that if we close below 29,000?
So the low for the 2021 candle low is 27.7.
Right. So if we close at 27.7 or below it, we have a bearish engulfing candle. Right. If we close above it, we have a green candle, which is creating a new pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
That is
So
correct.
either way, we're into interesting times. Let me take a look at the charts of where we're at right now, and we'll continue this conversation. So I'm showing you a really clean chart of Bitcoin USD here on the 1 hourly. And that's a classic continuation pattern in the symmetrical triangle with a target of 21,728. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, about 21,728. So without bringing any resistance lines in yet, seeing where our support resistance lines are, Fibonacci's or everything, just and that alone, I think that actually comes up to a pretty significant resistance area. We may make it beyond that. We may go to 22,700. Let me just come back down onto the 4 hourly, because on the 4 hourly, one could argue, oopsie, that we're doing a bit of a stair step.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier.
And whenever we stair step, that's usually happen in a bull cycle. Like we come up, let's see if you get here, look over here. We come up, get a bit of a red candle, go sideways, come up, go sideways, come up. And at the moment, it looks like we're either going to go sideways or we're going to come up and reach that target, right? But if we were to come back down to the bottom, which is here, where did all of this start? And we take it to this top here and we bring in our fibs to have a look at where the golden ratio is. It is sitting a little higher. It's sitting up at 23,221. Now, what you got to realize, guys, is we have full moon rather, on Tuesday. So what normally happens if we come over to the daily, we watch the moon phases, because the moon affects people's psychology, and market and the charts is all psychology, right? We come here on the daily, look at the bottom, these gray moons here, these are the full moons. Full moons usually indicate that we're coming to, or we've reached the bottom of where we've been trading. So it's like a local bottom before we get a pump. See here, this new full moon, we say in ninjas, we usually dump into a full moon and we pump out of it. And exactly here, look at this. We actually started dumping a bit earlier than the full moon. We found the bottom all the way down here, and we've been pumping ever since. So somewhere along the line, we've actually got to see a reversal. And the question is, are we going to get a reversal, or are we going to break pattern this full moon? Because that would then let us know that it is possible that the next bull cycle is in. And I'm saying bull cycle instead of bull market, because it's not a bull market. We haven't got anywhere near the halving. But what I mean by bull cycle is that we consistently paint higher lows, and we're not going back to those lows. The bottom is in now. And the reason why I say that that could indicate that we're going into an upward trend is that when we are in an upward trend, the full moons, right here, usually don't have big dumps. Look at this, Kelly. We don't have the dumping so much. See, this is a dump, sure, but it's not the big dumps that we've got when we're in the bear market. In the bear market, those full moons have been massive dumps in some cases, right? Yeah. So what's going to happen on Tuesday, I think, is going to be massively important to giving us more data as to whether or not the bottom is in down here at 17,626, depending on what exchange that you're looking in. But right now, have a look here. We've just kind of broken a pattern. And if we call this a bear flag, we have broken a pattern on a bear flag. Now, a bull flag, excuse me. What am I saying? Bear flag, a bull flag, right? Whenever we break patterns, more often than not, we come back to retest previous resistance. Right? This is on the daily. when we break patterns on bigger time frames, this is a big deal, they usually play out. So I think we can look reasonably call 21,671 because this is confluence with the what do you call this, the symmetrical triangle continuation pattern that we saw on the 1 hour. I think we could quite reasonably expect us to hit that, but whether we're going to have to hit it in the next few days, in my opinion, otherwise we run the risk of coming back down and retesting the golden ratio here at about 20,146. Would you say that?
I do. I just have a couple observations. So first of all, so Tuesday, November 8th, we've got the double whammy. We've got the full moon, as you mentioned, and we also have the midterm elections.
Right.
So it's going to definitely be a very exciting day to be close to the charts and keep an eye on things. My other observation, a couple of things. So when I look at where we are at right now, if we come up and we create a higher high from that last swing high, to the left of your fibs, then that could be another good indication of, continuing uptrend, right?
Totally. And speaking about the midterms, we did a video last week about how the midterms affect the stock market and the crypto market. And there's a very definite pattern. And wasn't one of the pattern that we usually dump into the midterm, and right, we start dumping into it. Yep. So that makes sense because we often start dumping into the full moon, right? So here's the deal. If you guys are looking at wanting to accumulate Bitcoin for spot trading, you might want to take some profits once we, watch where we're hitting resistance, start taking some profits so that you can buy back in on the dip. And definitely look for the video link below to take to Kelly's video where she went back on all of the midterms, all the presidential elections, and there was a very clear pattern of what happens in the stock market and what happens in the crypto market, because it's a little bit different. There's a little bit of a digression there in some instances, and that way you can be more alert. And what we do here on this channel, it's called Conscious Crypto Channel. We are conscious of the fact that we are integrated beings that are connected to everything. We're connected to consciousness. We're connected to the sun, the moon, the stars. We're connected to, everyone. And there are patterns within that, and those patterns play out on the charts. So when we're looking at patterns of midterm elections, patterns of the FOMC meetings, right? There's usually a pattern of volatility both ways, right?
Yep.
We know that these are dates we need to mark on our calendars to reorganize our priorities to be able to be there for when that volatility happens or when that move happens, and also know to protect your trades if you're already in trades, especially if you're leverage trading, because you can expect that something is going to happen, right?
Always. Yeah.
Something is going to happen. I mean, we could even wick down to the 50%, right? Because this has been, if you look to the left here, that has been a long-standing resistance level. And we could come back and just touch that and say, hey, I'm just touching this to let you know I'm saying goodbye to it. Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Exactly. Well, another observation.
Bye-bye, 19,000.
Another observation is if you look at the RSI, I mean, that would probably be the best thing that could happen, right? Is if we came down and touched either the 0.618 or the 0.5 just to get that RSI reset, and that would give us a nice launching pad to continue the uptrend.
Yeah, totally. And guys, we are now trading with Travis's friends, Top and Bottom Finder, and the trend reversal, and which I'm going to bring in right now and see what they say. And look, the bite that it's very accurate with the sell because it's following what whales do. It's not following so much oscillators, although it does take that into consideration. These are private. these are private indicators, and you can get a link to them, to an invitation to get them down below with the explanation. We'll do a video on all of that later, but it's an invite only script, and I'm inviting you. I want to look at the price versus whale money flow and the trend reversal. Where is it? Can you see it? Wouldn't trade without these guys, because often you can get out of a trade too soon or not get out soon enough. If we have a look at the daily, look at that. We've just bounced off this red area here. And if we have a look at the money flow, money's still coming into Bitcoin. It's leveling off a little bit, obviously, because institutions are pulling back because it's the end of the day in the United States, right? On the East Coast. So we're going into weekend trading. But we've got a lot. We could still go up here. Let's have a look on the 4-hour. That's why we're not getting a sell signal, even
right.
pump, right?
Right.
So if we do retrace, it might not even be back down to this line here, this descending line that has been acting as resistance. Normally we would come back, tap this to say, hey, you know, we're moving on from here, but this spinning top might have been it. And now, right? And we could just start taking off. So if we look at the trend reversal, though, money's still flowing in, but we're starting to get overheated on the RSI. We are starting to get into watch for a drop territory. So what I like to do, and what we love to do on this channel, is bring in the Ichimoku cloud, because the Ichimoku cloud throws out in front of you where it is that we could be going, right? So on the 4-hour, we are above the green Ichimoku cloud. It's pretty thin. It's not thick. So there's some support under us, right? It's leveling out. So over the weekend, it is possible that we just very slowly come up and maybe trade sideways. But if, like, was it last Saturday we had a pump? Every now and then you get a Saturday or a weekend where it pumps like crazy or it dumps like crazy, right? But normally it's pretty quiet. So that is a possibility. If you're not in a leverage trade and you're looking for a trade idea, I wouldn't be getting in here. I would want the RSI to be under 40. Right? Otherwise, it's just going to be another one of those trades that you get in and it could reverse on you really quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my sense of it is that we're probably going to tap 21,700 before we get a reversal. We may go up to 22,000. We may even go up to 22,700. That's a possibility. That's it. But I'm not going to trade based on my sense. I'm going to trade on what's going on in the charts. But even though this is starting to get into this territory, when you go on the daily, we've still got room above us, right? And if we look at the VR, I keep calling this the VP VR because I'm dyslexic. It's VR VP here to see where the volume is. Have a look at all the longs underneath us, blues long, yellow short. There's a lot of volume in here before we even get down to this descending line, right?
Yep.
So anyway, we didn't really want to go too much into detail on that. We're more than like, let's just do one more hour. We just really wanted to have a look at that pattern that you found on the yearly, which I think is really, really interesting. So we don't now what we're looking for is bullish and bearish divergences on the 1 hour and the 4 hour to give us an indication of when we could be topping out as well, right?
Yeah, look at that, Nicola. If we come down just to the bottom of that symmetrical triangle, the upward trend line there, that could be enough to bring us down on the RSI and the trend exhaustion for another run up.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's quite a bit of a dip. And we've got quite a bit of shorting going in here. So there is resistance above us getting above that, right? We've got a liquidity pool up here. So we're going to be seeing people, traders taking some profit at 21,200 up to 21,400 and beyond, because sometimes we go into overextension. Have a look at this overextended here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, and also this is what I want. If you guys are using the Ichimoku Cloud, I use Kraken Cryptocurrency Ichimoku Cloud because it's set for the crypto market, which trades 24/7, as opposed to the Ichimoku Clouds that are set for the stock market, which closes for a couple of days, right? This is not technical analysis. This is my observation. Whenever we see this flat line, whether it's on the green cloud or whether it is on the red cloud, those flat lines can sometimes be really deceptive, and we can get sudden moves up or down, right? So
Right.
weekend trading can be perilous for that reason. But the NASDAQ's closed, right? The New York Stock Exchange is closed.
Yep. Yep.
The CME is closed.
Yep. I think everybody's closed up. It's 5:10 Eastern. So
Yeah. Okay, cool. So is it CME's closed as well too? So that's the other thing that we want to watch out for is we don't want to go too far this weekend or not, right? Because if we go too far, we're just going to have to come back and tap when the
exactly.
CME opens at some stage, right? Because if we create a CME gap from where we close on Friday to where we open on Sunday in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, if you don't know what the CME is, then that just remains a gap that needs to get filled. And that big dump that we had where we kept going through the 20s and then we came down under 100 because there was a CME 20,000, there was a CME gap around 18,000. That was a CME gap getting closed 2 years later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
CME gaps are something that you really need to be watching out for. So yeah, 21,235. Watch that. So we might just come back in here and fill this in, and then if we don't break out above here over the weekend, we run the risk of actually having this invalidated as a bullish pattern and coming down, maybe down here to the golden ratio, or maybe even more, based on what happens with the midterms. So be sure to watch that video that we did for you around what happens to the charts during the midterms. But that's it. Any final words from you, Kelly? I think we're good to go. Hey, if you found this really interesting, if you found and you like my voice and you like Kelly's voice, we'd like you to like the video. Help us grow the channel. Help us grow the channel and subscribe, obviously, because we are starting to upload more videos now. We're going to be revamping our live streams, bringing Stefan on, who's another Crypto Ninja. Crypto Ninjas is a private mentoring group that I run for those people who are wanting to segue from spot trading into leverage trading into day trading so that you can earn a living off of your trading. That is who we're catering for. You can check all the details below to get that. But more importantly, we'd love your subscription. So click that subscribe. Thanks so much for joining me on a Friday afternoon here, Kelly. I will be speaking to you real soon, and happy trading for the weekend, guys. Bye.
Good weekend.